Давать пайки.
У мене є лише 3 картоплі.
Комунізм.
Is this your view of Joseph Stalin's dictatorship? While his methods were, and still are, perceived to be nothing more than barbaric, his actions have led Russia into being the superpower it is today. These 5 events may be seen as atrocities, but they are also the reason why Stalin should be one of Russia's most respected leaders. There were 3 5-year plans that were made under Stalin's rule that occurred between 1928 and 1942. The 5-year plans were sets of goals made by Stalin to accomplish industrial growth in the Soviet Union. The first and seconds focused on the criticized collectivization of farms and labor, while the third were more focused on developing materials for the war. While the actions took and what they resulted in were difficult for the Russian people, they ultimately resulted in the goal they were meant to accomplish: incredible industrial growth. The collectivization of farms was most intense between 1929 and 1933. The collectivization of farms was a forced opportunity to give agricultural funds to Stalin's efforts towards industrialization. Kulaks, which were powerful owners of private farms, often resisted and were given the consequences from the NKVD. Many collectivized farms were susceptible to the effect of lower food rations. Collectivization did cause unfortunate losses, but without agriculture integrated into the state-run economy, Stalin's industrialization of the Soviet Union may not have accomplished as much as it did. Gulags were started by Vladimir Lenin in 1919 and were under Stalin's authority throughout his dictatorship. Gulags were work camps used to further industrial development, construction, and mining. Each camp can hold 2,000 to 10,000 people. Those who disobeyed Stalin's order attended the camp for what is intended as a limited period of time, or even be given early release if they filled their quota. Gulags were often criticized for their conditions and for their losses. The gulags were also essential for the 5-year plans, and the labor there didn't cause a huge strain on the ever-growing Soviet economy. Because of gulags, we have the Moscow-Volga Canal, the White Sea-Baltic Canal, and the Kolyma Highway. The Great Purge was a political campaign that lasted between 1936 and 1938. The Great Purge's goal was to eliminate dissenting members of the Communist Party and for Stalin to maintain authority over the Soviet Union. Bolsheviks and other threats were sent to gulags or executed. There were 3 Moscow trials which had been proven to be scripted, and by the end, 30,000 members of the Red Party had been killed. While the purge was grim, the precautions taken to conserve Stalin's authority sustained his leadership, which is exactly what led the Soviet to becoming a superpower. The Cheka began in 1917, ending in 1921. The NKVD began in 1934, being replaced in 1954. The Cheka and the NKVD were both secret police forces, the NKVD being utilized by Stalin for other purposes such as imprisonment and managing gulag convicts. Arrests, interrogations, and executions were their main focus. The NKVD was one of the most criticized factors of Stalin's dictatorship because of their brutal force when it came to interacting with Russian civilians. This force was one of the pillars of Stalin's dictatorship and part of what pushed his 5-year plans forward. Stalin's dictatorship has used difficult direction that has led to undeniable criticism. While these faults are harsh, they are nothing but necessary to the accomplishments Stalin's achieved for the Soviet Union. Because of Stalin, Russia is the industrialized superpower it is today.